I've posted this a couple times. I was on a cross-country road trip with a colleague. We were driving through West Texas on a major highway. In the area where we were, even the major highway was pretty desolate. There had been a truck stop or a gas station about every 100 miles, and every one of them was solitary with no other buildings in sight. These weren't really towns then exits, just places to get more gas to get to the next gas station. It was pretty late at night, and she had been driving for like 4 hours. I usually can drive for about 8 before I'm tired out because I go on frequent road trips, but she could only manage about 4 or 5 before it was my turn. We were also getting low on gas at about a quarter tank, and you learn from road travel to fill up whenever you get the chance. So she was looking for a gas station as we drove along. It's really corny, but we were talking about fate and destiny and some other weird shit at the time. That kind of conversation gets me keyed up and worried, so I was trying to change the subject. She took an exit while we were talking, and I got out my coffee mug so I could fill up for my turn driving. We pulled into a typical Nowheresville gas station, just a station and a trailer out back. I assume, thinking back, it was probably where the people who owned it lived. There was another car parked in front of the doors, off to one side. We got out, still talking, and walked up to the double doors, each of us grabbing a door handle. The doors were locked. I turned and looked around to see if there was a sign. Sometimes places will pull up a "back in 5 minutes" sign, and noticed several things in succession. The coffee maker inside was halfway done, brewing a fresh pot of coffee. The monitors that showed the store were visible from outside where we were, but all of them were showing static. And there was a splash of bright red on the door in the back of the place, which was closed. I suddenly realized I was looking at a huge streak of blood with handprints in it. Every hair on my neck stood up. My friend began shaking the door, yelling, "We need to get gas!" But I had already turned and walked away from the doors. "We have to leave, now!" I grabbed her arm and started propelling her back to the car. Now, I noticed the other car in the lot. It had no plates. It was dingy and had dents. There was an empty gun rack in the window of it. I ran to the car, dragging her with me. She seemed to take forever to open her door and get in. She had the key still. The whole time she kept saying, "But we need gas," while I tried to explain to her, "There's blood in there. Blood." After what seemed like a year, she pulled the car out. When we were backing up, I saw through the windows that the back door in the gas station was opening. We had pulled away before anyone came out, thankfully. I freaked out until we were about 20 miles down the highway. I tried to call police, but I had no signal. I didn't get a phone signal until we had driven about 40 miles and got to a truck stop. Again, not in a town, just a building on its own in the middle of nothingness. I called the cops, they thanked me, and I never heard anything more about it. To this day, I feel like if I hadn't freaked out, we probably would have met the robber, or whoever was in the back room of the place. I also wish I had been able to find out what the hell had happened there. It was a Chevron station, somewhere in the western part of Texas, at least within about 100 miles or so of the signs for those places on Route 10. I never heard back. This all happened in 2002.